I used to believe betrayal was something you saw coming, a crack in the voice, a lipstick smudge that doesn't belong, the cliché sin of someone else's cologne. But what no one tells you is how quiet it can be. How betrayal doesn't always come with fireworks or slammed doors. Sometimes it arrives at your dinner table, wearing your wife's smile, holding your favorite bottle of wine, and saying 5 words that change your life forever. We need to talk, Brian. That night, I found out my marriage wasn't what I thought it was. And that was only the beginning. I've been lurking here for years, never thought I'd be the one posting in this sub. But here I am, 39M, married for 12 years to a woman I genuinely thought I'd grow old with. Now I'm sitting in the wreckage of that belief, and I need to get this out. Not for advice. I already made my decisions. Just want to share, maybe help someone else see the signs before it's too late. Let me rewind a bit. I met Lisa when we were both in our mid-20s. She was loud, confident, the kind of woman who walked into a room and somehow made it orbit around her. I was quieter, more grounded, I guess. We balanced each other. Or so I thought. The first few years were good, really good, actually. We built a life. I work in IT, decent salary, predictable hours. She's in marketing, very people-oriented, loved networking and being the center of attention. That always made me a little uneasy, if I'm being honest, but I told myself I was just being insecure. And honestly, she never gave me a real reason to doubt her. Until about 6 months ago. It started with her friend Melissa. That woman always rubbed me the wrong way. Too flirty, too invasive, always whispering things in Lisa's ear with that sly smirk. She'd gone through a messy divorce last year and came out the other side preaching some new age gospel of freedom and open energy. Lisa started spending more time with her. At first, it was girls' nights out, nothing unusual. But then came the boundaries talk. She told me, calmly, almost like it was a business proposal, that Melissa had helped her realize she'd lost herself in the role of wife and mother, and that she wanted to explore her desires and redefine the rules of our marriage. I was floored. We'd never talked about opening the marriage. Hell, we were monogamous from day one and proud of it. I asked if this was about someone in particular. She said no, laughed it off, told me I was being paranoid, said she just wanted the freedom to connect with people on a deeper level. But I felt the shift. The late nights, the giggling over text she wouldn't let me see, the sudden work conferences that were oddly close to home. Then one night, this was about 3 months ago, she came home with that drunk smile. You know the one. The smile of someone who thinks they pulled one over on you. I asked where she'd been. She gave me some half-baked story about dinner with a new client. I played along, but I'd already started digging. I checked our shared iCloud. She'd forgotten to log out. What I found? A photo. A selfie taken in a dim restaurant, candles and wine. Her, leaning in close to a man I didn't recognize. Definitely not a client. Definitely not just dinner. That night, I didn't confront her. I couldn't. My hands were shaking. I sat in my car for an hour, just processing. This was the woman who'd told me I was her soulmate, who had promised to grow old with me, who, less than a year ago, was talking about maybe trying for a second kid. I started documenting everything. Texts, emails, GPS logs. I installed a small recorder in the car she drove most. Paranoid? Maybe. But I needed proof, not for a courtroom, but for myself. So I wouldn't let her gaslight me out of the truth. And then came the moment I couldn't ignore. I came home early, left work after lunch without telling her. Walked into the house and heard laughter upstairs. 2 voices. One hers, the other unfamiliar. I froze. And then it went quiet. By the time I got upstairs, the guest room door was closed. Locked. She came out 5 minutes later, hair messy, face flushed. Said she was just catching up with Melissa. Melissa, whose car wasn't in the driveway. I didn't say anything. Just nodded. Told her I had a headache. Then I walked out and drove straight to a friend's place. That night, I listened to the recorder from the car. It wasn't Melissa. It was a guy named Derek. And they weren't catching up. So yeah, I had my proof. The recorder in her car caught more than I expected. Lisa wasn't just cheating. She was gushing about it. Talking to Melissa, laughing about how Derek made her feel like a woman again, how she was so over Brian's boring loyalty, and, the kicker, he won't leave, he's too soft. He'll sulk, maybe cry, but I'll talk him around. That last line stuck with me. Burned into my chest. See, I'm not the kind of guy who yells. I don't throw things, don't get physical, don't scream. But I feel things, and when I do, I don't react, I calculate. I spent 2 weeks after that pretending everything was normal. Played the dumb, doting husband. Even cooked her favorite pasta one night. She smiled across the table, thanked me, said, "It feels good to be back in sync." Meanwhile, her phone was vibrating on the counter. Derek, no doubt. What she didn't know was that I'd already met with a divorce attorney. Quietly. Smart guy. He asked one question. Do you want out clean? Or do you want to bury her? I looked him in the eye and said, I want her to feel it. So we built the plan. But first, I had to give her a chance to come clean. One night, we were watching Netflix. I paused the show mid-episode, turned to her, and said, Are you happy? She looked confused. Yeah. Why? Because I'm not, I said. Something's been off for months. And I know there's someone else. Dead silence. She blinked, smiled nervously. What are you talking about? Brian, are you okay? You've been acting weird. I heard the recordings, Lisa. And boom, the mask cracked. First it was denial. What recordings? Are you spying on me? Then came the rage. That's illegal. You're violating my privacy. Then, the tears. It didn't mean anything. I didn't plan for it to happen. I was lonely. You're always working. I just wanted to feel wanted again. I stayed quiet. She kept talking, unraveling in front of me. She admitted to Derek, claimed it was only physical, then admitted it had been going on for months. Then slipped and said, when we were in Chicago, I thought it was a work trip. I nodded slowly. So you lied about the conference? She looked away. Here's the part that broke something in me. She actually had the audacity to say, maybe if you'd been more attentive, I wouldn't have needed to look elsewhere. Ah, there it is. My fault. Always. At that point, I stood up and said, this conversation's over. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. Her jaw dropped. Wait, what? No, Brian, let's talk. We can fix this. Please. But I was already gone. The next morning, she came downstairs, puffy-eyed and quiet. I handed her an envelope, a printed transcript of the recorded conversation. On the front, I'd written in Sharpie, this is who you really are. Own it. She left the house for hours. When she came back, her friend Melissa was with her. They wanted to talk. Melissa started in. This doesn't have to be the end. Open marriages are normal now. Lisa just needed to explore herself. I laughed. Melissa, you're a walking cautionary tale. Your husband left you, your kids barely talk to you, and your idea of empowerment is dragging my wife into your failures. She called me a misogynist. Lisa cried harder. And then I said the final thing I'll never regret. Lisa, you didn't just cheat. You recruited a cheer squad for it. You mocked me behind my back, lied to my face, and now you want me to feel bad because I didn't meet your emotional needs. I looked at Melissa. Get out of my house. That night, I locked the bedroom door. She slept on the couch. The next day, she was served with papers. But this isn't the end. You want revenge? All right. So here's where it starts to get satisfying. Let me just say, I'm not a petty man, but I believe in justice. And Lisa didn't just betray me, she weaponized her lies. She made me out to be the villain in her little fantasy while she played the liberated victim, coached by Melissa, bedded by Derek. So I gave her the dignity she deserved. None. See, my lawyer, bless this man, advised me to keep everything cool and quiet on the surface. No emotional texts, no late-night confrontations, no public outbursts. Just steady, undeniable strategy. I moved into a short-term apartment nearby while the legal wheels turned. In the meantime, I continued pulling receipts, screenshots, texts, photos, timestamped GPS data from our shared phone plan. The piece to resistance? A voice recording Lisa left running one night by accident in the car. She was talking to Melissa and said, and I quote, honestly, if Brian ever finds out, I'll just cry and say I felt neglected. He'll cave. He always does. That clip? I backed it up to a cloud folder labeled Plan B. Now, remember how Lisa had said the affair was just sex and not emotional? Turns out, Derek was under the impression that he was the future. I found his social media, and there they were. Vacation pics from the weekend. She told me she was with her mom. Romantic captions. Her in a dress I bought for our anniversary. This is where the revenge takes shape. I reached out to Derek. Carefully. An anonymous message from a throwaway email. Subject line. She's not who you think she is. Inside? Screenshots. The recording. Pictures of her car parked in a hotel the night after she claimed it was over between them. A short note. Just thought you'd want to know what she says about you when you're not around. I never got a reply. But within 2 days, she was sobbing in my inbox. Please talk to me. I made a mistake. Derek's gone. I need you. Oh, now you need me? Nah, I wasn't done yet. The next piece of the puzzle was Melissa, her little puppet master. I found out Melissa had recently started seeing a new guy, Tom, who, bless his trusting heart, had no idea she was orchestrating other people's affairs for sport. So I did him a favor. Same burner email. A file of screenshots showing Melissa pushing Lisa to cheat, suggesting drugs to numb the guilt, calling Derek a better model of a man than me. I didn't hear from him either. But a week later, Melissa's smug little Facebook posts about soul alignment went dead silent. Lisa's world began to shrink. Then came the party. Our company throws an annual winter gala. Big venue, formal attire, everyone invited. I had RSVP'd before the divorce was public, and technically I was still Lisa's +1. I called ahead and confirmed I was still on the list. She didn't expect me to show. I walked in alone. Navy suit, fresh haircut, not a wrinkle on me. Calm, clean, controlled. The moment I entered, I felt eyes turn. Word had gotten around. Everyone knew. Lisa stood across the room in a deep red dress, Derek nowhere in sight. When she saw me, her smile faltered. She approached fast, put on the tears again. I didn't know you were coming. Please, can we talk? I cut her off, handed her a sealed envelope. Inside? A copy of the signed divorce papers, finalized that morning, and a flash drive with everything. Her texts, photos, recordings. Show this to your therapist, or your next boyfriend, or your reflection, if you ever manage to look at it. I turned and walked away. That night, I posted my story, redacted, of course, on our mutual friend group's private forum. Not dramatic. Just facts. Receipts. I let them decide what kind of person she was. She lost more than a husband that month. Her reputation? In shambles. Derek ghosted her. Melissa's circle imploded. And the best part? I never once raised my voice or stooped to her level. But this story's not done. Next time, I'll tell you how I built my new life and what I did when Lisa tried crawling back one last time. Because of course, they always do. You'd think after the public unraveling of her affair, the cold sting of divorce papers, and the exodus of her cheerleaders, Lisa would disappear quietly. Take the L, move on. Nope. 3 weeks after the gala, I got a text at 1:13 a.m. I miss us. I was stupid. Please don't shut me out. Blocked the number. 2 days later, an email. Subject closure? The body was a novel-length pity parade. She missed my steadiness, realized she made a mistake, claimed she'd been emotionally manipulated by Melissa. Said Derek ghosted her after learning the full story. Shocker. Said she didn't recognize herself anymore. I didn't respond, but I did print it. Filed under future ammunition. Then it escalated. One night, as I got back from the gym, I saw her waiting outside my building. Red eyes. Clutching an old hoodie of mine like it meant something. I just want to talk, Brian. 5 minutes. I didn't yell. Didn't let the anger bite. I just looked at her. Really looked at her, and realized something. She wasn't sorry. She was just alone. Because her new life, the one with freedom and late-night hookups and self-discovery, didn't pan out. The applause faded. The friends scattered. The men didn't stick. And the one person who always showed up, always protected her, even when she didn't deserve it, gone. So I gave her what she wanted. 5 minutes. You made your choice, I said. And now you get to live with it. I don't hate you. I'm not angry anymore. But I'm not going back. She started to cry. Not loud, dramatic sobs. Just quiet, hopeless tears. I almost felt bad. Almost. Then she said it. I didn't think you'd actually leave. That broke me in a different way. Not because it hurt, but because it confirmed everything. She never thought I'd walk. She thought I'd crawl back, beg, forgive. She underestimated me. Again. So I ended it. Lisa, I don't need you to understand what you did. I just need you to stop pretending you were the victim. You weren't a prisoner. You were a volunteer. You chose this. And now, I choose peace. I walked inside. Left her standing there. She didn't come back. And you know what? The silence that followed was better than any victory speech. In the weeks that followed, life started to settle. My apartment turned from a temporary shelter into a home. I painted the walls myself. Hung up art I actually liked. Cooked for one without sadness. And people, real people, came through. Friends I hadn't talked to in months texted out of nowhere. My sister invited me over weekly. My old buddy from college started a guys-only poker night. I was no longer Lisa's husband. I was just me again. Then something unexpected happened. At the gym, I started noticing a woman I'd seen a few times before. No makeup, Beats headphones, laser-focused. One day, I held the door for her. She smiled, said thanks. That was it. But it stuck with me. A week later, we ran into each other at a coffee shop down the street. She remembered my name from the gym sign-in sheet. We talked. Her name's Taylor. Divorced, 2 years out. Not looking for anything serious, but real. Honest. That was enough. We've been grabbing coffee every week since. No pressure. Just conversation. Connection. Something my marriage hadn't had in years. Lisa still tries, by the way. A message every month or two. Always the same theme. I didn't appreciate what we had. No, she didn't. But I do now. This is the last part of my story. The end, or maybe just the beginning, depending on how you look at it. It's been over a year since I walked out of that house. The home I built with Lisa. The home she poisoned. The life I thought we'd build together turned out to be made of cheap glass. Cracked by her choices, shattered by the truth. But I didn't stay in the rubble. I rebuilt. Healing wasn't a straight line. There were nights I missed her. Or at least, missed the version of her I thought I knew. The laughter over dinner. The road trips. Her sleeping on my chest during thunderstorms. Those memories hit the hardest. But the pain came with clarity. She killed that version of herself. The woman I loved didn't just make a mistake. She made a campaign of betrayal, enlisted help, orchestrated deception, mocked me for trusting her. You don't come back from that. You don't forgive that. You don't heal beside that. So I did the work. Real therapy, not the Band-Aid kind. I journaled. Worked out. Took up cooking again. I deleted photos when I was ready. Not all at once. Some lingered longer than they should have. But eventually, even the digital ghosts faded. And the best part? I stopped needing closure from her. Because closure isn't something they give you. It's something you take back with both hands and carve into your own damn story. Lisa faded into background noise. After the last attempt to get me back failed, she mostly disappeared. I heard from mutual friends she moved into a shared apartment with Melissa. Poetic, really, the two of them stewing in their own mess, each the ghost of a plan that went wrong. Derek? Gone. Rumor is he bailed once he realized Lisa wasn't a mystery, just a mirror of everything broken inside him. They don't last, people like that. Too selfish to nurture anything real. Too used to manipulating instead of building. I never wished her harm. I just stopped wishing her anything. As for me, I found peace. And something like love. Taylor, the woman from the gym, became something solid. It started simple. Coffee. Then hikes. Conversations. Vulnerability. She never once asked for the gory details, but I shared them anyway. She listened. Didn't flinch. She didn't try to fix me. She just sat with me in it. There's something beautiful about a person who doesn't try to outshine your pain. Someone who just holds space for it until you're ready to breathe again. We're not in a fairy tale. This isn't rebound romance. It's slower, deeper, earned. Sometimes we cook dinner together and talk about nothing for hours. Sometimes we just sit in silence, and that silence feels like home. So what did I learn? Let me leave you with this, not as advice, but as evidence. If they want to cheat, they will. No amount of love, loyalty, or sacrifice will change a person who's committed to lying to themselves before they lie to you. You're not weak for hurting. Betrayal is trauma. It rewires your brain, breaks your routines, makes you question your worth. But the fact that you feel it means you were all in. That's not weakness. That's integrity. Revenge is satisfying, but healing is transformational. I exposed Lisa because the truth mattered. But I moved on because I mattered more. You can forgive without ever saying it. Forgiveness isn't about setting them free. It's about freeing yourself from the expectation that they'll ever be anything more than what they showed you. Closure is not reconciliation. Sometimes the door stays closed. Sometimes the ashes are all you need to build something better. I'm not the same man I was when this started. I'm better, stronger, not bitter, not broken, just rebuilt. So if you're reading this, and you're where I was, staring at the truth, unsure if you can take the next step, let me tell you. You can. You will.